Yo, have you been working hard or hardly working? One of the OGs or elders that I grew up used to say something along those lines, like it's either you're working hard or you're hardly working. Now, I made this video because my son said that, Papa, I'm getting fat, So this is just me shaking back. Honesty is the best policy. Sometimes the truth hurts. I'm like, son, you're right. Papa chubby, you know, I'm overweight. I need to just get to it. So this is the shake back, getting back in shape in honor of you, Jaha. That's my son, Jaha Eli. So Jaha, I want you to be proud of your papa. So papa's going to take accountability. And I'm getting in shape first for me, health is wealth. But then secondly, because I know that you need me and you want to see me at my best. So here we go. Have to outwork the competition. And the only competition is the person that I see in the mirror. And sometimes I have to tell him, hey, it's time to buckle up and get going. I'm not in competition with anyone else. I'm not in competition with the next person. I'm in competition with myself, personal goals. So I told myself that I would work out every week, that I would be on the road. I go home for my 34-hour reset. If you're in trucking, you know what that is. If you're not in trucking, that just means when my mandatory work hours is finished, it's mandatory that I'm off for at least 34 hours. So I go home, which is Houston, Texas, and I rejuvenate, then I get back on the road. So this is me keeping my promise. This is week 3 of me working out consistently, and it feels good. And I follow Bully Juice online. If you don't know who Bully Juice is, please follow Bully Juice. He has paid material, free materials. You can work out with him, and he's military, but he's great at what he does. And I follow his channel, and it's actually helped me a lot. That way, I'm not freestyling, and it's giving me different sets to do. And I also use my Anytime Fitness app. So working out is good for the physical, but it's also good for emotional and mental reasons. One, if you're a guy, it's going to give you a testosterone boost. So you're going to feel better. You're going to feel stronger. It's going to affect your mindset, your state of mind. It also helps with when you go through stress during the day. It helps unwind and get into a base level where you can think clearly. I like being by myself now. So as that I'm by myself, I get to just work out. I try to do 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the afternoon. That's an hour. And if I can't do that, I would do 15 to 20 minutes in the morning, and then I would get a workout in the afternoon. Now, I'm going to be honest, guys. This week, I did not feel like working out. I started my work week Sunday, and I'm going to end Friday or Saturday. And I kid you not, guys, I did not want to work out Monday. But I told myself, you know what? Let's get it. And so today is Wednesday, and I did Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So I'm keeping my promise to myself. I also told my son that I would do it. And I like recording myself working out because it holds me accountable. And that's just what it is. Who are you when no one's watching? No one is perfect, but we got to try to be as constructive as we possibly can. Ask yourself when you're going through something, what would be the most constructive things that I can do in this moment? What would be the most? Sometimes what I've learned recently is that I have to monitor the thoughts that's on my mind. So I noticed through the course of a day, I could experience multiple emotions. Sometimes, like in the morning times, I might not want to get out of bed or get the day started. I fight through that. Then, after I fight through that, usually I start my mornings lately with a morning workout, 10, 15, 20-minute workout. Then I'll drink some water, have some coffee, and, start my work day. By midday, I'm actually in a good mood because I've completed the first set of goals that I had to do. But then later in the afternoon, late afternoon, I feel those negative thoughts creeping back up. It's like, man, I have this to do, that to do, and I have to fight back with those negative thoughts. So what I do is I say, okay, listen, focus on what you can control. Focus on what you can control. Relax. I focus on my breathing. Sometimes I take a break and just chill for a second, clear my head, and then I get back on it. I want to say thank you to my friends. My friends sometimes really help me a lot. Oftentimes they help me a lot, from my family members to my friends who have become my family, who either allow me to vent to them, I could bounce ideas off of them, and that helps a lot. So thank you to all of you guys who've helped me. And sometimes, guys, we do have to work hard, but we also have to rejuvenate. Taking time off is key. No one can go 100% all of the time. Not even a machine. Sometimes the machine has to take a break. You gotta cut it off. So in life, that's what I'm learning. It's a balancing act where you want to go hard, but you want to have consistency. So you have to know when to take a break, know when to say, okay, I did enough for today. Let's leave some for tomorrow. Focus on what you can control, but realize that it's little increments, a little bit at a time, and then that's how you reach the finish line. Too often, we're taught in the United States, that you gotta work hard, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. Sometimes we gotta realize it's only so much that we can do in a day. Focus on what you can control. If you have a list of 4 things to do and you are able to get all 4 things done in a day, great. If you have a list of things to do and you are able to get 3 out of those 4 things done, that's still a good day. You only have 1 more thing to do for tomorrow or later in the week. So that's what I learned, guys. And I hope that this video helps you. I hope that you stay positive. We do have to hold ourselves accountable, but that's not only for bad things. We have to hold ourselves accountable and give ourselves a pat on the back when we do things that are constructive. Peace. Another thing that I learned is having to ask myself, what is it that I want? If you don't know what you want, then that's a huge problem, because you're not going to know what it is you should be focusing on. A lot of times, identifying what we want, we could probably get to that goal in a shorter time. Most people spend time not knowing what they want, and I'm addicted to this not knowing what I want. But once I was able to go through enough pain and heartache, I was able to identify what I did not want. So sometimes if you don't know what you want, identify what you don't want. Identify what you don't want, and then focus on that. Also, link up with like-minded people. Not like-minded people as in they're doing the same exact thing that you're doing, but like-minded that they want to do constructive things and be at their best also. Another constructive piece of advice I could give is that sometimes you're going to be alone on your journey. You're not always going to have a support system or people there to encourage you. Learn to stay diligent even when you're by yourself. Don't give up. And have some integrity. Don't be afraid to say no. That's another thing that I've learned is sometimes you gotta say no. For example, small things. Like you may have an obligation that you want to do, and then someone may ask you to go hang out or do something. And if you're not thinking of your schedule, you say yes. If you say yes to too many things, you're just going to be like here, there, everywhere. So sometimes you just got to learn to say no. No, I can't do this. I got to stay in and do this. No, I can't go over here. I got to do this. Saying no to yourself. No, I'm not going to make this purchase. I could wait another week. I could wait another 2 weeks to make that purchase. It's really not mandatory. No is like a shield. I heard that quote somewhere, like, no is like a shield and yes is like a sword. Sometimes we have to say no to protect ourselves. No to certain foods. No to alcohol. No to drugs. No to things that don't serve us. Sometimes we have to say no to good things that's not necessarily bad. It's just that, no, I can't do that right now. No, I gotta focus on something else. Oh, I would like to do that, but no, I can't. And then when you get used to saying no, that set up boundaries. People are always, well, I'm not going to say always, but people generally respect people who have strong boundaries. When you have a strong boundary, that's a sign of self-respect. You have to set boundaries with yourself. Therefore, you will be more able to set boundaries with others. Peace.